We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are conducting life-changing research that solves the problems of today. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Welcome to the POMcast with Stephen Willis. Now we're going to do things a little different. We are going to provide an honest look at Ole Miss athletics for the fan, by the fan, and of the fan. That is what we do. Hell be to me. I'm just kidding. Tune in for some Ole Miss sports news. We're going to give it to you straight. Yeah, right now. The POMcast starts now. It happens now. Holy cow. Listen to me. It's starting. Well, it's going to start right about now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the POMcast on this beautiful Thursday morning from the palatial Central Florida studios. Thank you very much for watching. Lots of stuff to get to today. Our whole A block just completely got wrecked. So we had to change that, and we moved everything back to the B block. So in the B block, you're going to get press conference highlights from Ole Miss's 9-4 win over Little Rock last night, as we normally do, and you're going to get a little preview of the Vanderbilt Series preview. I think that's the right phrase. So we're doing that. I am your host, Stephen Willis, on this magical mystery tour of Ole Miss News. We're going to open up the chat today because our opening topic is going to be, do you like the move to Thanksgiving back for the Egg Bowl? With the Egg Bowl potentially moving back to Thanksgiving, do you like it? So we opened up the chat. You can do that by just commenting in any of the live streams. It's going to put it right here, and you're going to be able to see it. If you want to follow our Discord as well, all the chats will be on there as well. So thank you very much for that. But that's Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Discord for the chat function. But before we get started, I want to tell you about the Vault Society. That is the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation's big push right now. It's the Vault Society. What is it? It's a 5-year commitment of support. That membership starts at $5,000 a year, and there's a benefit chart on the site. We're going to get to give you that address in a minute. But I want to tell you that all gifts to Ole Miss between now and June 30th will receive triple points. Red points, non-deductible, and go towards priority seating. Blue points are 90% tax deductible and go towards parking, and non-home ticketed games. That's postseason bowl games, neutral site. We have a big one on those coming up on Labor Day as well. So that's what that is for. The address is give2athletics.com. Again, that is give2athletics.com. If you want to follow the show, you can catch it on Twitter at the Stephen Willis or at the Rebel Walk. You can catch us on Facebook at facebook.com/POMcast, or we'll get to that in just a second. Thanks for commenting on that. But you can catch us on Rebel Walk Facebook. We're on YouTube at Positively Ole Miss. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We have lots of different ways for you to follow Ole Miss on the YouTube page. Full press conferences, greatest games, on-demand games from 2020. All those are living on the YouTube page, just aggregated from around YouTube, which is one convenient spot to watch it. And we're also on Twitch at Positively Ole Miss, all one word, which kind of covers that. Now, if you're audio fans only, I mean, you can participate in chat as well, but there's not a chat function for the audio thing. But you can catch us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. Those are the audio things. That's a lot to remember. But thank you very much for coming in. Right before we came on the air, there's a tweet that was put out by Robbie Falk to where he talked about the Egg Bowl potentially moving back to Thanksgiving. Now, I am a proponent of the game being on Thanksgiving. I am a big fan. I understand people for selfish reasons, and I don't mean that as in a bad way, but just for your own self-interest. They don't like the game on Thanksgiving because it eliminates Thanksgiving dinner, and then you have to get to the game, and it just kind of blows up your Thanksgiving plans. I get that. And I get that particularly, generally, journalists and things like that covering the team do not want to work on Thanksgiving either. So those are the two main arguments against the game on Thanksgiving. And let me get your name right real quick. I'll mention it on the chat. But Ryan Favrat does not like it. And that's fine. That's fine. I am a person that wants the game on Thanksgiving. I'm a person that likes the game on Thanksgiving. Not just, I think it is a showpiece game and an opportunity that you don't normally get, especially from a small state like Mississippi and a large conference like the SEC. Because on that Saturday, you're going against the Iron Bowl. On that Friday, you could change it to Friday potentially. I think LSU and A&M's on Friday. I think Missouri and Arkansas is on Friday. But Thursday you have by yourself. Now people will talk about how the NFL has taken audience away, and that might be the case as far as the showcase around the country. But to the people that watch football, that watch the game, you need that recognition. The players that are looking at going to a school have no competition at that moment. There's no competition to see that game. You are the showpiece game for recruits that matter. Now, the gates, I understand the gates, the gate argument and all that because of, like we talked earlier, it's difficult to do Thanksgiving dinner and get to Starkville or Oxford, depending on where you are. Now, if you're in Oxford or Starkville, it's not a pain at all. But if you're in Jackson or you're in the coast, I get that. That's a problem. But when it comes down to recognition and name, everybody is talking about the Ole Miss Rebels game and the Mississippi State game going on that night. The game going on the other side of it has been the Saints and the Falcons the past 2 years. Now, nobody's been talking about the Falcons, but everybody talks about the NFL as some 300-pound gorilla that can't be slayed, and they should automatically get the time slot by themselves. But for people that watch college football, honestly watch college football, this game is a major showpiece game. It's great for recruiting, which is the lifeblood of the program. The only argument that I've heard that even makes a little bit of sense is the gate, getting to the game and, doing that. But the attendance of the game for the last 20 years people have talked about, it hasn't dropped. It really hasn't. It's been pretty much in line with what's going on for the week before each year. So people are going to the game, and you can just have your Thanksgiving or whatever, if that's a problem, on Friday, or you can do whatever because you have that time to get it done. But this, I think, is a major idea, and I love that Ole Miss is basically, and State, honestly, are taking this opportunity to nationally showcase this game. Now, people get upset whenever something happens and they play they're laughing at you, but people are going to say that if they're not Ole Miss and State fans anyway. But for us, in helping the program, that game on Thursday night is the showpiece game. When Texas and Texas A&M went away, they tried to replace it several different ways, and they landed on Ole Miss and State. There's a reason for that. It's an entertaining game. The two schools do not like each other, and others outside watch for unpredictability because both of the teams are generally about the same level. I mean, that's just the truth in the matter of that. We'll look at the chat real quick to see what people are saying. Ryan Favret's, my bug about it is I'm down in New Orleans. It's tough to get there on the game of Thanksgiving. That's what we were talking about. If you're doing Thanksgiving and all that in Biloxi, it's difficult then. If you're a little bit closer, I get that argument. Cody Camp, Loves it. It's a national highlight game, Thanksgiving Day, hands down. Somebody tweeted a weird thing on there on the Twitch chat, believe it or not. Want me to buy followers, but I'm not going to do that. But that's just an avenue for the Ole Miss State game, and I do appreciate everybody chiming in, and I have no problem with opinions, but I'm a person that likes the game, has always liked the game, and wants the game on Thanksgiving. And we need to understand that the power of the TV, ESPN on Thanksgiving night, is a next level thing. We are in an era where that is now controlling the shots as opposed to gate. I think the SEC is pretty close to, I think you get more money from TV revenue than you do from gates at this point, which means they're completely calling the shots. But that is pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited about it. When we come back after this break, we are going to talk about the Little Rock game a little bit and Jacob Gonzalez's big day. We're going to do the press conference highlights that you guys love, and we are going to do a little preview of me and Chad Smith talking about the Vanderbilt series. That is in segment 2, but until then, we're going to take a short break and stick around.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on, answer it already! Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive. A message from Florida's trusted choice independent insurance agents.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis. I just want you to stick around a little longer. We're going to get back to the podcast right after these messages.
Tonight, nearly 40,000 veterans across the country are homeless. These men and women have pledged to serve our nation, and now we must serve them. Landlords across the country have helped make significant progress in reducing veteran homelessness by making housing available, but there is more that we can do to bring our veterans home. Visit www.va.gov/homeless to see how you can get involved. And if you are a veteran and you are experiencing homelessness, please call 877-4AID-VET. Thank you.
Welcome back to the POMcast on this Thursday morning. Very nice day. It looks like it might drop a shower down here at the Palatial Central Florida studios, but we are thankful that you stopped by anyway. We're going to get to the baseball segment of the show. Ole Miss defeated Little Rock 9-4 last night behind, really, I think Jacob Gonzalez went 4 for 5. And I want to talk about him and TJ McCants and potentially what they mean in a little bit. But before I do that, I want to tell you about the rebelwalk.com. Now, Evelyn and her team do a fantastic job providing coverage for Ole Miss sports that you don't have to pay for. Only investment is your time. And the number of different opinions on their site allows you to not waste it. There's experts for everything, from basketball to baseball to football. Everybody has their own little lane. So go to therebelwalk.com and enjoy the movie. Enjoy the website. It provides a subscriber level experience for free. So therebelwalk.com. Evelyn and the team do a fantastic job. You can see a little member of it whenever I do my preview. I think it's coming up at 1 o'clock today on the Vanderbilt series with Chad Smith. So you can catch us also on our Discord, as you can see at the moment. But Ole Miss defeated Little Rock 9-4 last night behind Jacob Gonzalez going 4 for 5. Now, you basically have two true freshmen hitting in the mid 350s at this point in time. There's a chance for them to get the batting title. I think second on their team in hitting is Jacob Gonzalez at this point. And his numbers are not only favorable, but are a little bit ahead as a true freshman to Zach Cozart and Gray Kessinger as a senior hitting the ball. Now, there's a little bit of work that needs to be cleaned up on the defensive side of the ball. Nobody's saying it's not. But offensively, it's been quite special. And you see these freshmen moving up the lineup consistently. And Jake Gonzalez has been, a vision when it comes to leading off. He's doing a fantastic job. And TJ McCants started out at 9 and just worked his way up. And he's having an impressive year as well. He has extremely quick hands and has a great bat and has been very adequate in center field. There's a few hiccups early, but there's plenty of time for him to back out of it. But I am very impressed. I know last night was Little Rock, and it's not necessarily about Little Rock. It's about the total experience of these two freshmen. They're actually making real waves. Like Jacob Gonzalez should be in competition for SEC Freshman of the Year at this point. I mean, there's a chance, a legit chance, that he hits double-digit home runs as a true freshman and hits somewhere in the 350 range. I mean, it's an absolute legit possibility. And TJ McCants the same thing. Anytime he's up to bat, you just expect him to make a play and hit the ball hard somewhere. He might hit it at somebody, but that's not his fault. He usually gets the barrel on the ball. So it's pretty good to see. But we're going to play the press conference highlights from the game last night, Mike Bianco and Jacob Gonzalez. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the preview of the Vandy Series. So here we go.
From the coach's locker room, kind of in the bowels of the stadium. So a little different. Obviously, done this for a while, and never, besides the, maybe getting thrown out a couple times and watching, the remainder of the game. But a little different perspective. Come, to the field today and not have your uniform hung up in your locker. That's never happened. And so, but knew that the game at all times was in great hands, and both Clem and Laugh are terrific and aces, and knew that they'd do a wonderful job.
I think we all feel really bad for Gunner, and we really hope for a speedy recovery. But I think the mindset in this locker room is that we're going to win anyways. No matter who's pitching, we're going to win ball games. I don't know. It's hard to put into words. I think, devastating is probably a good word. Finding out, immediately, when you get the information. I think he's handled it as well as anybody can. And I think we don't realize sometimes. We just look. Which I think is very human to the draft and to the him as a prospect in his career and him in general. But I think there's a giant part of him that is missing this and missing being part of this team and a part of this postseason. And he's worked so hard to get to this point. So. I'm sure just a ton of emotions running through, his, body. But he's been terrific. And, with each day, you start to get closer to turning that page, and certainly when he gets out of that, that operating room, it's, you put the blinders on and you focus and you start the grind back of the rehab that's very monotonous, very long, but highly successful, and I'm sure he'll be looking forward to those days. I've been seeing the ball all right. I think what helped me so far is just playing consistently, playing all the time. I've never played baseball this much in my life before. So I think just getting the play like that bats is really helping me.
It's another tough, God, you guys got some tough questions tonight.
it hasn't been a big deal. I tend to, and not to be, I don't know what the word would be, not sensitive to the information or aloof, but I tend to not worry about a lot of things you don't control. These are things, we've done, our season and our resume to this point is what it is. If you ask me, hey, should you be one of the 20? My answer is, an emphatic yes. I mean, I don't know how we couldn't be. But I don't make those decisions. It's 10 other people, a committee that this is what they do, and they have a lot of numbers and they have to make a lot of tough decisions, and I get it. But at the end of the day, there's not politicking. There's not, there's nothing I can really do. They either think we're worthy of that or they don't. What's done, it's done. And so, again, I don't think I've given it a lot of thoughts. I thought, to be honest with you, probably like you, and maybe I wasn't up on it enough. I thought it was going to be announced on Monday. And then I found out sometime and said, hey, when's that thing coming out? When are they going to, announce the sites? Somebody said, they pushed it to the end of the week. I said, oh, okay. I thought the big deal was Monday, but I guess they pushed it back. So, I don't know. When is the day, Nick? Do you know? Is it tomorrow? Is it Friday? Is it Saturday? Nobody
I think
knows.
they're saying Thursday or Friday.
Thursday or Friday. All right.
Yeah.
So, again, I know I don't have an exciting answer for you, but the truth is, it's not that I've been giving it a lot of thought. It's certainly not that we don't care. Obviously, it's a big deal to us, but it's a lot that, we've had, pretty emotional week. I don't think we need to spend a lot of emotion on that. We need to just take care of our own business.
Yes, absolutely. And I think they're handling it the right way. The NCAA is probably looking at this as an opportunity to, I don't know, get the right schools involved. So as long as they can delay it, the better. They probably are surprised by the number of bids they've got. And it's just looking that it could be a little bit more complicated than they thought. So, now that was the Little Rock game, the big post game for the Little Rock game. Now, me and Chad Smith this morning, we recorded 15 minutes on Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. That'll release at 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern on all of the Positively Ole Miss channels and the Rebel Walk channels and all that. Nothing will get missed. But I wanted to play you guys a little bit of a preview so you can get about 5 minutes or so to understand basically how this goes. So this is the preview, and from here we're going to close out the podcast. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Fan base is thinking of and how they view this season. This weekend is an excellent audition for next year's weekend rotation.
It is. It's a great audition for not only our rotation in Diamond and McDaniel, but you look at some of the pitching that we have behind them in our bullpen, middle relief and short relief. These guys had the opportunity to come out and pitch, show their stuff, show how they can compete in the games against another team, and you just can't substitute that even in fall ball against the same club, your own team, if you will. So Vanderbilt's going to do the same, though, with McIlvain and with Riley on Saturday as well. He's going to be trying out because in all likelihood, Kumar Rocker is going to get that call from the draft. Probably maybe the first one of the draft. So Kumar Rocker will be moving on, and it'll be a great series to watch the competition in.
Yes. And we need to talk a little bit about the Ole Miss bullpen, because losing Derek Diamond and Drew McDaniel from it makes an already thin bullpen even more thin. Who needs to step up from that aspect of the pitching staff?
Well, we need everyone to step up. We need Jack Doherty. He's been thrown into a difficult situation, of course, coming in out of the red shirt. We also really need Tyler Myers. We need Austin Miller. I mean, all of these guys that have good experience, have experience in the SEC. We need those guys to step up and actually go in and give us several innings of relief, because this is a difficult task. Don't get me wrong. Vanderbilt is an excellent team. However, we need to really batten down the hatches and solidify this bullpen, because the middle relief has been our weakness this year. It's been the thorn on our side several series, and hopefully we get back to our winning ways this weekend and actually do really well against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, yes. And before we get into the batting order, I'm just spitballing questions because it's on the brain.
Sure.
How are we looking over what do we need to do over the next 6 games to be a legit hosting candidate?
All right. So what we need, in my estimation, what I'm seeing, and according to some other experts, we're looking at 3 games. We need to take 4 games out of the next 7, the last 7 of the season, and probably at least 1 win out of the tournament.
All right. Looks like Chad dropped
Hey,
off.
I'm sorry. But what we need to do is actually take 4 out of that, out of the rest of the games in the season, and at least one.
4 games from the rest of the season, and at least 1 game in the SEC tournament is what he is saying. Chad's having a little bit of internet problems at the moment. We're going to get him back in just a second. Hopefully he can come back in. If not, we will shut it off there for the preview. But as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go down over the next 2 weeks. It's not done and dusted that we're not hosting, but I mean, it's in a position to where, the Texas A&M series has made it to where realistically we probably need to win the Vandy series. Now that became a little easier that Jack Leiter is not pitching. Became a little harder since Gunnar Hoagland isn't pitching. So it becomes more of a crapshoot, similar style pitchers against each other that maybe are lesser known. Our former Sunday guys now on Saturday. Drew McDaniel still locking down Sunday. We have an audition essentially for what needs to be done for next year. So you're building, everything about that we talk about on the POMcast, the other show, is about building the program and following a program and being a fan from a program perspective, not a season perspective. So many people are prisoners of the moment, and they don't understand the growth factor to get to whatever's going. The season is an end result type thing of the program. You need to follow from the program perspective. It prevents so many highs, it prevents a little bit of lows, and it's a little bit more even killed following Ole Miss sports. That's what I would recommend. That's how I follow. But we're going to shut this preview down, and hopefully soon we'll have Chad back next week to talk a little bit about the Georgia series. That's a Thursday through Saturday series. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do for the tournaments and things like that. So for Chad, I'm Steve. And I just want to say, hotty toddy.